your system, and your response is like, oh, but white fuckers have pickup trucks. Like, can we have a conversation?
No, but I also feel like when, like, a lot of times, Jeremy, when we do have this conversation, when it comes up and people are like, pointing these things out, a lot of the white people get uncomfortable and they be like, oh, it's always a race thing with you. So
that's because you say white men rape women in pickup trucks.
Hello, calm yourself. Thank you. I think it's interesting because you are Canadian and you seem to know more about the history of this country and the history of the documents that govern this country than a lot of people who live here. Because whenever we try to have these conversations prior, it's like, well, slavery isn't a thing anymore. Da, da, da. It's like you would have to literally go back and do your due diligence and look at the history, the foundation of this country, the foundation of the laws of this country, which goes back to the Constitution of the United States, and it goes back to the Bill of Rights. And so when you're looking at those documents and you're looking at what was happening in the world at the time that certain things were put into place, like the 13th Amendment, you know what I mean? Or like, you would have
Number 13
research. Okay. You have to really do your research to understand why this is the issue that it is and why it is relevant to slavery. And why a lot of the plight of black people go back to slavery. And it's like, well, yeah, we're so far removed from it. Yeah, but we're not so far removed from racism, and especially when you look at the fact that the foundation of this country was literally established on racism.
So you're saying, okay, I know that there's foreigners that come into the NBA and are decent, right? And although I can see that people like Yao Ming that challenge Shaq, right? Even though I can see that, right? I don't think that if their country took more interest into basketball and gave them scholarships, it would make it more competitive. I don't think that it would be more of those people. I think it would be the same. Sounds like you realize how asinine that sounds? You're saying, oh, I already know that there's foreigners that are there. I mean, come on, man, but it doesn't make sense. You're saying, hey, look, there's already exceptions to that. Dude, you already agreed that there's exceptions, right? And I'm saying, what if you made...
Yeah, those are the exceptional Europeans that come to play in the NBA. Like, Giannis is exceptional, Luka's exceptional, Jokic is exceptional. These are exceptional athletes. But I don't think those are the best. I don't think overall they have better athletes than what we have here. They don't have the competition set up that we have that's better here. So that's just what it is.
So you don't see
I don't think how you can have... no, because they don't have better competition than here.
But that's what I'm saying.
You would have to showcase to me that they'll build better competition than what we have here.
Sure. No, actually I don't. For this argument,
I understand that the only reason why we have better competition is because, like, basketball is one of the dominant sports of America.
Yeah, that's
because we invest in it, right?
Yeah, that's what
it's not because of the whole incentive of this competition is because basketball is a dominant sport. It's not because the Olympics exist.
Because we have a cultural incentive for
basketball is American.
And I already told Ford, I was like, imagine a country,
Canadian.
right? And so I'm telling Ford, imagine like all these other countries, right? Like let's say if basketball becomes much more relevant to the point where there's a culture of it, right? And there's also programs for it too. Right? If you already accept that there's exceptions of people coming into the league that are from foreign lands, right? Because they took an interest in basketball despite it wasn't the cultural dominant sport, or they took an interest in basketball besides, even though there wasn't all these programs for them to be as little kids weren't as common. Don't you think that if you made those more available, right? And there were scholarships, and it became culturally more significant.
Your belief in Christ and your adherence to his law. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what you're saying, D.
Yes, because he don't want to finish any. And God got white people that's filled with the Holy Ghost that know. Like, y'all don't understand this. These people know God. Not all of them, but the ones that some people that roll with the Father, and that's their Father too.
I'm sorry,
Brother D, hold on. D is dropping bombs in here. D's dropping bombs.
Yes, dropping bombs.
I'm not saying all.
I'm just trying to figure out how we got here, though. Like, I'm trying to figure out what they have to do with
I want to know how
he Kim Jong-il right now.